For almost 5 years, I've been speaking out against Donald Trump and his followers. As soon as I saw him as a candidate and heard the things he had to say, I knew he was a problem. I recognized it because I had a father who was narcissistic, sociopathic, and pathological. And I knew that they live in a scorched earth world. You either buy into what they say or they tear everything down. I also knew that Donald Trump was dangerous because of his racist tendencies, anti Semitic tendencies, actually being against anybody that doesn't agree with him. Now, a lot of people will get on me for saying this, but I mean it and I will stand behind it. What we saw with Donald Trump in the beginning, throughout his presidency, and in the end, when they finally attacked the U.S. Capitol, was not unlike what we saw with the Nazis in Germany in the late 30s and 40s. I know you're going to say, oh, it's not even a comparison. It's actually a very good comparison. It maybe didn't have the same result because Donald Trump does what Donald Trump always does. He fails, thankfully. But what happens is when these people start their little cabals of anti-Semites or racist, we see what happens. They form groups, and then the groups get bigger, and they get bigger, and they get bigger. And then we get insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, something truly dangerous to our democracy, hurting people and actually killing people. Did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine in 2016 that things would end up to that degree? No, you didn't. It would never have crossed your mind. You wouldn't think it'd be possible. And unfortunately, that's what happened in Germany as well. You see, people always said, well, this will never go that far. It'll never be this bad. And they laid back and they relaxed and they didn't want to push it too much. These people were being bullies. They didn't want to mix it up. Other countries didn't want to stick their nose in because they figured, well, this will never work. But in the end, what we had was the Nazis taking over Germany and several other countries, 6 million Jews being killed, and of course, drawing the United States and other countries into the war. The reason that happened is because nobody stood up, nobody spoke out, and nobody pushed hard back enough in the early stages of when the Nazis began. When I spoke out about Donald Trump and his followers 5 years ago, I certainly got some kickback from Trump fans. They were mad. They argued pointlessly, of course. They didn't know what they were talking about. All they knew is they saw a bandwagon of rage and fury that they wanted to get on. They weren't very bright, so they were more attracted to the violence and the rhetoric. And that group of people started to build, and I could see that. And again, maybe you don't want to compare Nazi Germany to the United States, and maybe it's not even the same level. But the premise, the strategy, is the same. We're just fortunate it didn't get as far as what it did in Nazi Germany. So I'd speak out, and I'd get the kickback from the Trump fans. And frankly, I kind of like that. If I could engage them, confuse them, and then ultimately shut them up, I felt like I was a winner. But what really bothered me more than anything, the thing that upset me the most to this day, are the people that were not fans of Trump, did not vote for him, didn't like what was going on, but they would still come to me and say, why are you doing this? Why do you keep yapping about this? What do you hope to accomplish? You're one guy. You're not going to do any good. Other people would say, if you keep doing this, you could get hurt. Maybe one of these guys come after you. And that angered me because that attitude was the same attitude of the people in the early stages of Nazi Germany. They figured it'd go away, or they didn't want to get involved, or they were worried they were going to get hurt. When we're talking about our country, every person has the right and the responsibility to stand up and speak out. The more people that stand up, speak out, and act in problem situations, the better chance we have to quell it, to stop it, to stifle it. But there are a lot of people that are apathetic or just afraid. And that's dangerous for this country. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, why are you talking about this now? Because Donald Trump lost. It's over. We won. Everything's going to be fine. No, no, that's not what's happening. These little factions of people that are racist and anti-Semitic, misogynistic, whatever you want to call them, they're still there. And now they're mad because they lost. You don't think they're going to still try to build and push forward? You hear them talking about it all the time. Donnie Trump's coming back March 4th. We're going to attack this. We're going to attack that. These people haven't got better. They haven't learned a lesson. And they are not going to stop. So what I'm saying here is that as much as we might have spoken out during the election, the campaign, and even the 4 years, we can't stop now. The problem is still there. It's like a virus. It's like the coronavirus. If we don't stop it at every angle, it always has a potential to spread. So even though Joe Biden won, even though Donald Trump might even go to jail, it doesn't matter because we've got these small factions of people that are spreading like a virus. And if we don't stop them short right now, we're going to deal with this problem later on. I guarantee you. That's how it works. So like I said, when people kept telling me, oh, you can't do any good, why are you speaking out? That's dumb. It's not dumb. Yes, I'm one guy. But as one guy, if I can get one other guy to say, hey, he's got a point, maybe I should say something, and then he gets 2 guys, and they get 4 guys, then we have a movement against this racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic movement that should not even exist in this country. It shouldn't be happening. It should have never gotten to the level where they were able to attack the U.S. Capitol successfully. That's amazing. That should never have happened. And I don't think any of us would have believed it if you told us that that was going to happen 4 years ago. I think this is very important. Joe Biden's in, that's a good thing. We can start on the track of trying to get this country to recover. But the problem's not over. It has not been extinguished. The virus of these people is still spreading. And we've got to take every precaution we can to stop the spread, to put these people down. And it can't be just me. It can't be just you. It's got to be the whole country. The good people that don't want to see this. If everybody speaks out, everybody pushes back, there's no way they can grow. There's no way our government won't do something about it. So, I want you to think about that. Things are looking up with Joe Biden, but we still got a lot of work to do, and we better do it. Otherwise, we may go through this again, and next time, they might be successful. So you think about that. Give me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that, and I'll talk to you again soon on Rational Boomer.